We said that once we learn to read connections, we stop guessing and start sensing. But here's a question worth asking. Why are markets connected in the first place? Why does one market moving over here cause another market to move over there? The answer comes down to one thing: money. Money is always moving. Every second of every trading day, money is flowing somewhere. Into currencies, out of currencies, into bonds, out of bonds, into equities, out of equities. And every time money moves from one place to another, it leaves a footprint. That footprint shows up as price movement. Think of it like water in a system of connected pipes. If we push water into one pipe, it has to go somewhere. It flows through the connections and pushes up in another pipe. Markets work the same way. When money flows into one market, it flows out of another. And the connections between those markets are consistent enough that we can learn to anticipate them. Now let us look at some real examples. And let us keep this grounded in what actually matters to us as short-term traders. Because we are not waiting for a central bank decision to play out over months. We are watching price move on a 5-minute chart. So what we care about is this: what is happening right now? And what does that mean for price in the next few candles? Here is a simple example. The US dollar is the world's reserve currency. Almost everything is priced against it in some way. So when the US dollar strengthens, pairs like AUD USD and EUR USD tend to fall, because it now takes fewer US dollars to buy the same amount of Australian dollars or euros. We saw this in Chapter 1 with our scales analogy. The USD side of the scales gets heavier, the price goes down. This happens in real time. On a 5-minute chart, if the US dollar is suddenly in demand, we will see multiple USD pairs react almost simultaneously. EUR USD falls. AUD USD falls. GBP USD falls. All at the same time. Because they are all connected to the same force: the movement of the US dollar. Now here is where it gets even more interesting. Sometimes a currency moves not because of something happening in its own country, but because of something happening somewhere else entirely. When global uncertainty spikes, traders rush toward currencies seen as safe: the US dollar, the Japanese yen, the Swiss franc, and they move away from currencies seen as riskier: the Australian dollar, the New Zealand dollar. Think of it like a storm warning. When a storm is coming, people head indoors. They move away from open, exposed places and toward shelter. In trading, the storm is uncertainty. The shelter is safe haven currencies. And the exposed places are the risk currencies. When uncertainty spikes, you will see this rotation happen in real time across multiple pairs simultaneously. That is an intermarket relationship playing out live on your chart. So what does this mean practically for us as short-term traders? It means that if we only watch one pair, we are only seeing part of the picture. A single pair is like watching one pipe in that system. We can see the water moving, but we cannot see where it is coming from or where it is going. When we watch multiple related markets at the same time, we can see the flow. We can see which currencies are attracting money right now, and which ones are losing it. That gives us context that a single chart simply cannot provide. And this is exactly why correlations, which we explored in Chapter 2, are so powerful. They are not random. They exist because of these underlying flows of money between markets. The correlated instruments move together because the same force is pushing them. The inversely correlated instruments move in opposite directions because when money flows into one, it flows out of the other. In our next chapter, we are going to take this one step further. Instead of just watching individual pairs, we are going to learn how to measure the strength of an entire currency. Not just AUD USD, but AUD itself and USD itself, separately. Because when we can see those two forces independently, the direction of AUD USD becomes much clearer. See you in the next chapter.